So, Abigail, you wrote a piece in Vocative entitled Rape Kit Backlog Grows Nationwide, Jeopardizing Prosecutions. Why don't you explain for us why there is such a huge backlog to begin with? Is there a comparable crime, for example, for which evidence is treated the same way as rape kits are?
So I think there are a lot of reasons why the backlog exists today. Two of them, one of the big things today is that DNA testing has become much more standard in police investigations and technology has improved. So today, we have certain technologies and crime labs throughout the country are outfitted with the ability to actually test these kits, but that wasn't so much so the case in the early 90s or 2000s. Also, a big difference has been sort of I think for a long time, sexual assault went misunderstood, and I think investigators didn't necessarily understand the serial nature of the crime to the right extent. You look at these perpetrators, and in many cases, uh, they are serial, so they've committed not just, other sexual assaults, but many of them also have other violent crimes to their name. But I think that went misunderstood for a long time, and that's sort of kind of what everybody who I've sort of spoken with about this issue, Natasha included, have pointed to. So I think there's a combination of technology catching up and a misunderstanding of the nature of the crime. And also, I think what we have today is to clear these backlogs, it'll require a lot of manpower and it'll require money. And I think right now, those are sort of some of the obstacles that have to be tackled to kind of clear these backlogs. In terms of other crimes with similar things, I am not certain that there's at all kind of this similar backlog of evidence that has been untested as with rape kits. And I think that does go back to the crime itself and the DNA testing. I think you obviously will have some evidence because of, the DNA testing rules still hold with other DNA evidence, but I think there are just a myriad of reasons why this backlog exists.
We do have Natasha Alexenko with us. Natasha, can you tell us about the Natasha Justice Project? How did it come about?
Well, certainly, I'm a survivor of sexual assault, and I'm a survivor of the backlog as well. My kit sat in a county storage facility in Manhattan collecting dust for 9.5 years. During the time my kit wasn't tested, the man that raped, sodomized, and robbed me was essentially on a nationwide crime spree. He was a one-man crime wave, and it was, as was so eloquently mentioned earlier, he didn't just rape, he property crimes, just a range of crimes. So he didn't just victimize other women, he victimized men and children as well. Finally my kit was tested, Victor Rondon was eventually apprehended, and I got the closure that was so difficult to achieve for so many years. And I was really inspired by the prosecutors and law enforcement in my case. I know my kit sat for 9.5 years, but once the administration changed and they recognized the value of the 17,000 kits that were sitting on shelves in New York City, they really turned things around quite quickly. So I was really inspired by them, and I really didn't want to be the anomaly, especially when I found out that throughout the nation there's hundreds of thousands of kits collecting dust. And every rape kit essentially represents a human being whose body was a crime scene.